Welcome to the Ingress Insights podcast, hosted by PkmnTrainerJ. Ingress Insights is a podcast about the Niantic game Ingress. Listen each week for the latest news, updates and rumours. Let us know your thoughts by leaving a voice message or emailing us at the links in the show notes.
Additional intel available.
Hello, agents, and welcome to episode 97 of the Ingress Insights podcast. In this week's episode, we'll be going over the anomaly results that have happened in the Philippines and in Providence. We'll also be looking at some Ingress news and looking ahead at what's coming in June and what we've got coming in the next quarter for Plus Delta, and also discussing some little updates we've had from Brian about the new Wayfarer system, OPR, whatever we're going to call it, and then a few interesting job listings on Niantic's site. I do have a few little podcast news bits to get through first, or before we get into the news, so I'll get through those for the podcast whilst I'm trying to figure out what works best for the podcast, like MailChimp, things like that. I've got a pod page set up that I'm going to try out for a little while to see if that helps. I'll include the link in the show notes. You can visit the pod page and leave comments and look at all the podcast episodes that way if it's a bit easier for you to do it rather than going through your podcast app. But do let me know any feedback you've got on the pod page. I can update and make changes. You can send in voicemails and everything on that site as well and leave ratings, comments, and I'll see all of those. So do please visit that and let me know any feedback. One thing I've seen another podcast do, which I enjoy, called Dyson Desire, is they've set up a Ko-fi site. So I've done that as well. Meant to be like buying someone a cup of coffee and making a small donation to help keep the podcast running. So I'll link to that in the show notes now as well. In addition, if you go onto the Ko-fi website, you'll see I've listed the previous podcast episodes, so number 1 to 25 for sale. So you can download those as a batch if you want, working out to like 10p an episode or whatever that is in your local currency. So if you do want to download a whole lot and listen to them whenever you want, rather than having to have Wi-Fi, 3G, download them all that way, then you can listen via downloading them from Ko-fi. I will get the other episodes up as well, but I just wanted to test and see if people like that before I then go and download like 26 to 50, do the same kind of thing, get all the Inverse Insights ones up. But let me know if you've got any other ideas on what you want to see on there podcast-wise. I can zip it up and have it for sale on there. That's about it for podcast related news. I am obviously getting close to episode 100, so I'm trying to make some plans for that, as well as getting close to a significant number of plays. So doing something to celebrate that, but I don't know what yet. All the technical updates out of the way, I'll move into the Plus Data news now.
Hey there, this is Jeff James, game designer from Marvel World of Heroes, and you're listening to Ingress Insights.
For the Plus Data season, we've had the anomalies happen on the 17th of May. So one of those was in Manila and the other one in Providence. I won't go through all the details regarding the Urban Ops Stealth Ops Shard battle. I'll just give you the full rundown of the main results and then you can look up the other ones yourselves. So Manila was 178.3 points to Enlightened and 71.7 points to Resistance. So Enlightened won in Manila. And Providence, it was 140.6 points to Enlightened versus 109.4 to Resistance. So that means from the XM anomalies on the ground, it was 318.9 points to Enlightened versus 181 points to Resistance. I do want to add that this time for the XM anomalies, agents got something new. So on-site agents were issued with a series of site bounties during the designated battle period. Hacking once completed the first bounty got you 1,500 plus data tokens. And then if you completed the 6 other bounties, you could earn an additional 1,000 plus data tokens. So you get 2,500 plus data tokens at the event to obviously go towards your plus data badge and help you get that towards gold. So that means the score currently, as I'm recording this section on the 21st of May, is 418.5 points to Enlightened versus 281.9 points to Resistance. We do have the EMEA round of skirmishes on May the 24th, and then obviously an XM anomaly on the 14th of June in Chemnitz, Germany, and Perth, Australia. And I'm just going to cover the skirmish in a bit more detail because we've got the shard singular and everything going on there. So I'll discuss that a bit more next. Hopefully you've all heard me talk about shard skirmishes enough previously to roughly know what they are, but I'll just do a quick reminder here because, as I said, they are coming up in a few days, or as I'm recording this on the 21st. I may cover it in a later bit when they've already happened on the 24th. But what will happen at a shard skirmish is 25 shards will manifest in 5 waves, and each shard will make no more than one jump before demanifesting. So it plays out at 4 p.m. local time. The wave 1 shards manifest, which is 3 shards. 15 minutes later, those jump. And then 4 minutes later at 4:19 p.m., the wave 1 shards demanifest. 1 minute later at 4:20 p.m., the wave 2 shards manifest, and there's 4 shards for that. They will jump 15 minutes later at 4:35 p.m. Then at 4:39 p.m., the wave 2 shards demanifest. 1 minute later at 4:40 p.m., the wave 3 shards manifest, and there's 5 shards in that. And then 15 minutes later, they jump. 4 minutes later at 4:59 p.m. local time, the wave 3 shards demanifest. 5 p.m., the wave 4 shards manifest, and there's 6 shards there. Again, they'll jump after 15 minutes and then demanifest 4 minutes after that at 5:19 p.m. And then finally, the wave 5 shards start to manifest at 5:20 p.m. There's 7 shards there. 15 minutes later, they jump and they stick around until 9:35 p.m. So they stick around the longest there. They don't fade away straight away. Each shard skirmish may contribute up to 17.5 points towards the Caesar score based on the number of shards scored. So any shard is able to travel a link longer than or equal to 249.5 meters in length will be scored at 0.7 season points for the faction that owns the link the shard traveled on. Then the battle beacon skirmishes are a little different. So what you'll see is some portals will get ornamented, and you'll see them targeted by NIA section 14, indicates where battle beacons will go. And at a battle beacon skirmish, very rare battle beacons will be deployed by NIA section 14. So at 4 p.m. local time, wave 1 battle beacons will be deployed on 25 portals. That's the first cluster. Half an hour later, 4:30 p.m., wave 2 battle beacons will be deployed on 20 portals in cluster 2. And then at 5 p.m., wave 3 battle beacons will be deployed at 15 portals for cluster 3. And each battle beacon skirmish may contribute up to 18 points towards the Caesar score based on the total number of beacon points of category 2 or above battles. This is where it gets a bit confusing and on 0 point things. So each battle beacon may yield up to 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 equal 12 battle points. Sorry, 12 beacon points, and each beacon point is scored at 0.025 season points for the faction that captured it, and the total will round it to 1 decimal place. So battle beacon skirmishes are a bit quicker, a bit less points wise, and maybe a bit more confusing if you've got big battles going on. But it's obviously deployed across 60 portals, and you'll be able to see what's going on. They don't say too far, it's within a 750 meter radius of the respective center point, although some might be up to 1.25 kilometers away. Then finally, we have a new thing for the plus data season of the Shard Singular, which I'll go through now. The Shard Singulars happen during a skirmish Saturday, so that's where 16 shards will manifest at various locations around the world, except the region where the skirmish events are taking place. So 72 hours prior to the shard's manifestation, the respective spawn portals will be ornamented, and the shards will manifest at 11 a.m. local time and remain live approximately 6 hours. Starting at 12 p.m. local time, these shards will jump along portal links when possible once an hour. Factions will earn season points based on how far their shard singulars travel over faction-owned links. So you get 1 season point for each jump over a link between 1 kilometer and 5 kilometers in length. 3 season points for a single jump over a link longer than 100 kilometers, and no further points will be given for subsequent jumps by that shard. The final season score impact of a day's shard singulars will be published shortly after completion of the day's final jump. The shard's behavior pattern for this will be shards will only travel on links connecting 2 portals of level 4 or higher. If multiple links exist, a shard may travel on any one of those links. If multiple shards are present on a portal, they may travel along different links. Shards will not return or backtrack to a portal they previously located on within the past 150 minutes. In the event that the shard has not travelled along any link within the past 150 minutes, It may randomly teleport to a nearby portal at the next movement window. If a shard movement is found to have been the result of actions by a rogue agent, NIA Ops may return the shard to a previous location. So, as I said, that's a new thing happening. So, for May the 24th, there's some happening in the APAC region. So, we've got Hervey Bay in Australia, Hobart, Australia, Niigata, Japan, Shizuoka, Japan, the Shanghai Baoshan district in China, Tenmun in Hong Kong, Kota Kinabalu in Malaysia, and Bidok in Singapore. And again, those are spawning at 11 a.m. local time. So you may want to get involved there if you've got those locations near you. For all the skirmishes that are plus Theta tokens to be earned, so if you're a shard skirmish, hack any portal where a shard is currently present to earn 1,000 plus Theta tokens, and hack one shard spawn portal per wave to earn another plus 100 Theta tokens. At the shard singular, you don't get any Theta tokens, unfortunately. At the Battle Beacon skirmish, if you hack a Battle Beacon skirmish portal per wave, you'll earn 500 plus Theta tokens. So again, you can work on getting your plus Theta Anomaly badge up to gold. For me at the moment, I've not attended any events, but I'm on 5,810 plus Theta points. So I should be able to get that done with getting the bounties on there. I've not paid for the premium pass. I don't think it's worth it for how far I can get on it just with going to no events. But if you have paid for the pass and you think it's worth it, or if you've gone to lots of events, got yourself lots of points, let me know if you think it was worth it when you've purchased the premium pass. That's about all for the events that are going on. I will obviously fill in some details if the skirmishes happen by the time I get to recording more, and you'll hear that in the next section if it's happened. Finally, for Plus Theta news, we do have a few new badges available in the store as part of the Plus Theta Anomaly season. These all cost 30,800 CMU. So we've got the ADA 2025 Neutral medal, and that obviously gets you the kind of pinky, purple, and yellow badge for ADA. That comes with the medal, 5 kinetic capsules, and 2 portal fracas. You'll also see the ADA 2017 medal from the archives. Again, that gets you the ADA 2017 medal, 5 rare kinetic capsules, and 2 portal fracas. The ADA 2025 Resistance medal, again a blue and light blue medal. That gets you the ADA Resistance 2025 medal, and instead of portal fracas and kinetic capsules, you get 10 ADA Refractus. So I suspect that when we get to the Roland Jarvis medal later on next month, that will come with 10 Jarvis viruses. These ADA medals are available until the 2nd of June, 11 AM UTC, but they do come back into the store on the 16th of June to the 30th of June. So if you miss them this time round, you can still pick them up. And then we have plenty more other badges to come in May and June as well for the Plus Theta Anomaly series.
Hey, this is Sim, Global Product Marketing Lead for Paradox, and you're listening to Ingress Insights.
Moving now into regular Ingress news. We have had an app update, and that came out on the 22nd of May, and that's now on version 2.167.1. There's only one small update on there that says they fixed the Ingress header rendering behind the status bar. One thing they didn't include that was fixed is that on at least iOS, when you were playing music via Spotify, Apple Music, whatever, and then you open Ingress, it would cut out the music that was playing and then play Ingress music instead. So you had to then click play on it. I've had other apps do that before, like Pokemon Sleep and various other ones. I know Peridot still does it, but that's now been resolved. So you can continue listening to the music we listened to before you open Ingress. We've also had 13 new videos dropped from Hank Johnson in the form of media drops. So if you hack Portal, you'll get the Ingress 01 to Ingress 13. These seem to be videos explaining things to new players of Ingress, like what the story is, who the Resistance are, who the Enlightened are, and various things about what portals are. I'll go through these along with the previous, like erased, buried memories media in another short episode. But do keep an eye out for them. I'll link to the Ingress.plus website and you can link to all the media from there. As though they are on Ingress's YouTube channel, you need the direct link to actually be able to view most of them. I'm not sure whether it's intended to advertise it to new players, but needing the direct link isn't really the way to go about it, if that is their intent with the new videos. Next up, I'm just going to look over June because this is the last podcast we've got for May. So we can see what's happening in June and then move into the Plus Delta series that's now been unveiled as well. In June 2025 Ingress, we've got a few events going on. So on the 7th of June, it's First Saturday, where you can meet up with the agents locally, compete in a few little events and get your First Saturday tick on there and register through Fev Games for that. You can see what's coming up in your area. On the same day, 7th of June, there's the Plus Data skirmish in the APAC regions. So there you can join the skirmish at one of the 13 APAC locations and also get points on your Plus Data badge for doing that. The next day is Second Sunday, so that takes place 12 a.m. local time to 11:59 p.m. local time. And there you need to complete the Second Sunday campaign to increase your Second Sunday medal by 1 count. And that can be doing the Machina, doing the missions, doing the scans, doing the unique portals, whatever works best for you. You only need to do one of the 4 campaigns on there. I've got my scans saved up, so I should be all right doing it that way myself. Then our last event of the month is the XM Anomaly in Perth, Australia, and Chemnitz in Germany, and that's on the 14th of June. After that, that's our final Plus Data event, so we'll have the score and know who's won the Anomaly series. One thing that hasn't been mentioned here, but I assume is still happening, is in June, generally the Ingress team do the Pride XM on the map, so you get lots of colourful XM on the map rather than just the plain whites. It's one of the 2 times the Ingress team changes the colour of the XM, the other time being around Halloween when it changes to orange/pumpkin spice XM. As I say, it's not mentioned, but I assume it will still happen as of the 1st of June. So I'll be looking forward to that, like when the map's a bit more colourful. As I said, that wraps up the Plus Data Anomaly series, with ending on the 14th of June. The Ingress team have shared the schedule for the Plus Delta series that starts in the July. So I'll go through and cover that now because there are a few changes to how things work for Q3 and for going forward. On the 19th of May, the Ingress team put up the July to September 2025 schedule on their website. This is the Plus Delta Anomaly season spanning July, August, September, and it says the agents will be awarded the 3-tiered Plus Delta medal based on their performance in anomaly battles, global campaigns, and other activities. Further instruction and detailed intelligence for each operation will be provided close to the execution dates. Stay alert. So similarly to Plus Data that we've got going on at the minute, this will be another 3-tiered badge going from bronze, silver to gold, and you'll be able to get presumably Plus Delta tokens, or maybe I would do another word, so it starts with D as well, to be able to unlock that badge. So starting in July, we've got First Saturday on the 5th of July for that, registering through Fev Games, seeing what's around you, and earning a tick on your First Saturday badge for attending events with other agents. The 13th of July is Second Sunday, so that takes place it takes place at 12 a.m. local time to 11:59 p.m. local time. And there you just need to complete one of the 4 Second Sunday campaigns to increase your Second Sunday medal by 1 count. Then on the 19th of July, we've got one of the first 2 global ops for Plus Delta. So the 19th of July to the 3rd of August is the Plus Delta global campaign Rezo, presumably Resonator. And it's just says stay prepared for new directives. Presumably it'll be about deploying and destroying resonators, but maybe there'll be a bit more to it, upgrading resonators perhaps, but I don't know what else they could add into that. Then August gets us level 8 week, so that runs from the 1st of August 5 p.m. UTC to 11th of August 5 p.m. UTC, and there you can earn 2 times AP, which is temporarily boosted up to 6 times AP with an Apex. You double deploy level 8 resonators and other bonuses. It's not specific about what bonuses there are. We get more details of that closer to the time. Presumably, there'll be the level 8 badges that get offered, as we've had those a few times before. The following day after the level 8 week starts is First Saturday. Again, registering with Fev Games. Make sure you get that tick on your First Saturday medal for attending a local event with other agents. You can attend events for these online, however, you won't get the tick on the badge for doing so. 10th of August brings us Second Sunday, again from 12 a.m. local time to 11:59 p.m. local time, and just completing one of the 4 Second Sunday campaigns. Then we have our first XM anomaly for the Plus Delta series, and that's at Malacca City in Malaysia and Portland, Oregon in the USA on the 16th of August. Then the following week on the 23rd of August, we've got another anomaly battle in Gothenburg in Sweden and Quebec City in Canada. Then finally, rounding off August, we've got the second Plus Delta global campaign field, which I assume we're making lots of fields, destroying fields. And that runs from the 30th of August to the 14th of September. and for now just says stay prepared for new directives. Then finally, for September, we've got first Saturday on the 6th of September. 14th of September brings us second Sunday. And then we've got the final series of XM anomalies for Plus Delta. So they're happening in Denpasar City in Bali in Indonesia and Cambridge in the United Kingdom. So that rounds off our Q3 schedule for events. The team have added some additional notes on here regarding what's coming up for Q4. So on XM anomalies for 2025, NAIA researchers have detected XM signals indicating anomalies on the following Q4 days. So the 18th of October, there's one in Valencia, Spain and Sao Paulo, Brazil. The 25th of October is in Wellington, New Zealand and Houston, Texas. 15th of November is the last ones for whatever the next series is called. Whether it's plus Omega, plus Key, people have got a few ideas. Anyway, that's on the 15th of November in Taoyuan, Taiwan, and The Hague in Netherlands. We do have some news as well about the Tuesday. So that's now being replaced in Q3. So the team have said, after assessing engagement with the weekly 2x Tuesday bonus window of 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. local time, we are introducing a new format in this season of Plus Delta. The weekly bonus is replaced with a 12-hour 2x AP bonus on the first Saturday of each month, running from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. local time. Please note that 2x AP means a maximum of 2x AP unless Apex are used and does not stack with other temporary bonuses. For example, this will not increase to 4x AP or 12x AP with Apex if the first Saturday falls during level 8 week. So that is a bit of a change on there to get the extra AP on first Saturdays, but then also lose it from the Tuesday. I generally look forward to getting that and doing a bit more for doing the 4 to 9 p.m. period, coming back from work, things like that. But we'll see how it goes for Plus Delta. Then we might change it back for the following season if it doesn't work well. The team have also shared an update that they are temporarily pausing non-anomaly mission days. So they said, with our transition to Niantic Spatial, our Ingress team is now significantly smaller. As we work on ramping up in our new startup, we are temporarily pausing standalone mission days until we're able to sufficiently support them. Mission days associated with Plus Delta anomalies will proceed as planned. So no mission days for Q3 and probably not for Q4 either. One other additional important thing you may have realized as I've gone through this is there are no skirmish battles for Plus Delta. I'm guessing that's why we've got 2 global campaigns instead, so that agents can still participate and help out if they can't attend the XM anomalies. Whether that's to do with the team being smaller and not being able to handle the skirmish events and things like that, I don't know, but there's none planned at the moment for Plus Delta. Maybe we'll get some for whatever the next series is called, but similar to Mission Days, I wouldn't count on it for Q4. So that's what we've got coming up for the Plus Delta Anomaly for Q3. Again, a 3-tiered medal, 2 global ops, and lots of XM anomalies. And then we've got the ones confirmed for Q4 as well. So that's nice. And then let's see how the replacing Tuesday with first Saturday 2 times AP goes for the 12-hour period. I'll probably need to set myself a reminder that it is 2 hours. Sorry, that it is double AP on first Saturday, because I'm not likely to go to an event, but I would like to get the extra AP on there to get myself back to 15 and then 16 again. I think I'm on 4 million AP in level 15 or level 14. So I've not got far to go, but the extra AP always helps. That's about it that I've got for general Ingress news. There is some pressing Wayfarer news that I'll go through next. There will be a short ad break before we get into that. Hey agents, for today's episode we have a sponsor that I want to talk about. I'm going to tell you about a fancy new tea I've tried called XP Brew. XP Brew is clean energy tea intended for long gaming sessions, so whether you're going out and getting your plus Theta bounties done or just chilling on the sofa with your Switch or PlayStation, this tea gives you a nice good energy kick without the crash of energy drinks. All you need to do is boil your kettle, put the tea powder in your favourite mug with the boiling water and give it a stir. I do want to highlight one flavour this week, which is my favourite one, which is dark choc cherry, and that you can either get by itself or in the Mano Mix pack, which gives you 2 separate packs of each flavour if you want to try them all out. What I say next about the flavour might sound really negative, but is a positive. So for me, I think it smells and tastes like hot Dr. Pepper, which is quite delicious, strangely. You can see all the ingredients for it on the website, which I'll link to in the show notes. You can see there's nothing nefarious in there. It's just clean energy stuff, vitamins, all the good stuff. So do check it out at XP Brew and see their other flavors they've got available as well, like the spicy passion one, which is quite nice too. And then let me know what you think if you do try it. I'd be interested to hear. Thanks again to XP Brew for the sponsorship.
Hi, this is HP Lola, and you're listening to the Ingress Insights podcast.
The first bit I want to talk about isn't really Wayfarer news, but it's linked to the Spatial Scopely split, so I thought I'd mention it here. The news website Forbes have published an article about Niantic switching to AI, and one interesting note that they mention is that the deal, which was in the works for over a year and is expected to close by the end of the month, is interesting. Maybe we'll have Ingress's new system up by the end of the month. That would be nice. John Hankey, who this interview was with, also mentioned that Niantic isn't expecting any more significant layoffs, though one or two more people could hypothetically depart in the final phases of the deal. I really hope we don't lose any more Ingress staff, because they mentioned already in their post the team is significantly smaller. I imagine that's got to be less than 10 people now, because I think it was about 12 or 13 last I remember. Obviously, we've had Thea leave and Alex Stam leave, as well as who knows how many other people. So I just wanted to mention that article there. I'll link to it in the show notes if you want to read it in more detail. It's quite lengthy, and I've just picked out a couple of bits there. Regarding Ingress's new system, Brian Rose, the director of Ingress, did comment on a Reddit thread asking about how to nominate new portals. So he said, TLDR, at the moment it's disabled, but we're going to re-enable portal nomination and edits in Ingress that go to our Niantic Spatial Ink solution soon. We're in the process of spinning Ingress out of our current startup, Niantic Ink, into a new startup, Niantic Spatial Ink, with separate infrastructure and separate portal nominations, edits, and review. Today, we're still technically Niantic Ink, so we sync with Wayfarer, which isn't spinning out into Niantic Spatial Ink with Ingress. When we're officially spun out, then this sync with Niantic Wayfarer will stop happening. And Brian posted that on the 20th of May, and then we did have an update later on the 23rd of May from Niantic Tintino. So we know that the Ingress map has been manually syncing rather than getting the automatic daily sync. It has had 2 syncs since that, but Niantic Tintino announced that this later today, as I'm recording, as you're listening to this, it's already gone past. But on the 23rd of May at 11 a.m. PDT, that's the final Ingress data sync. So Niantic Tintino said, Hi Explorers, we've heard your request for a confirmed date, and we're glad to finally be able to share one. This is your heads up that the final Ingress data sync is scheduled for May 23rd at 11 a.m. PDT. We know this is short notice, and we're truly sorry for the last minute update. As we've shared in the past, it would have been difficult to share an exact date, let alone several days in advance, given all the moving parts that come with this type of shift. Here are some things you can expect. Ingress will receive all resolved contributions up to the time frame shared. The map sync with Ingress will take some time, and updates will be reflected in the Ingress scanner next week, presumably when someone presses the manual sync button. The Pokemon Go map will not be impacted and should continue its map sync as expected. After this last sync, Ingress will begin using its own map, and Pokemon Go, Monster Hunter Now, and Pikmin Bloom will continue to draw from Wayfarer. We truly appreciate your patience and the care you bring to Wayfarer and the Wayfarer community. I will link to Niantic Tino's thread that has a discussion post as well if you want to discuss that in more detail. But I managed to get a couple of things through the system before that happened. So I'm glad of that. I think I've got one thing that I'm not sure whether will get accepted anyway, that's gone under Niantic review. So that's probably not going to make it to Ingress. I'm probably not going to be able to get that way to where it is to resubmit it for probably 6 months or so. But hopefully you've got all the things you wanted to get through. It's not been possible to nominate an Ingress for a little while, but many agents have been using Pokemon Go if they're level 37 or higher in that to submit things that do meet Ingress inclusion rules and will still then appear in the game's portals. Some agents have said they'll wait and have got backlogs and backlogs of photos and locations to submit when Ingress's new system comes up. But based on the interview and this from Nantitino, I'm hoping the new system is ready by the end of the month. But who knows, it might be a little longer for them to get everything up and running. Then finally, for Wayfarer news for this episode, we've got 2 interesting job listings that have come up on the Niantic Labs site. So this is Niantic Labs, so this would be under Scopely in future. One of the jobs is the Wayfarer Operations Program Lead, based in San Francisco or Sunnyvale. And they say, as a member of player experience, you'll join a team that delights in delivering high quality support, quick issue resolution, and useful educational, social, community experiences to the people who use Niantic games and products. You work closely with product development and development partners to leverage data and customer insights to drive improvements and optimizations to the player experience, maintaining tight feedback loops between our players and cross-functional partners. As the Wayfarer Operations Program Lead, you'll manage a vibrant community of players who contribute to Niantic's crowdsourced map program Wayfarer. You'll oversee and design engaging strategies to enrich the experience of our Wayfarer community, including stewardship of our Community Ambassador program, as well as Wayfarer's presence at live events. It also lists the responsibilities, so partner closely with product and engineering partners to ensure Wayfarer support and community programs up to date, accurate, and prepared for new and updated feature launches. Oversee Wayfarer operation, including workflow development, issue/bug tracking and prioritization, and develop internal external documentation for support agents and Wayfarer community members. Oversee the Wayfarer support agents by answering policy questions, reviewing and implementing suggestions for process improvement, staffing on call, and handling urgent or sensitive escalations. Leverage data insights to champion the voice of the user in internal discussion with strategic partners of varying levels and job functions. Work with regional partners to collect input on regional and cultural differences and improve implementation plans. Lead the implementation and continuous refinement of global PX standards, driving consistent, exceptional player experience across all regions. There's a few other little bits as well. I'm not going to read through them all, but I'll highlight some. So, at live events and community support, build trust and motivate engagement in the Wayfarer community through direct engagement in the community forum and at live events. Manage a group of highly engaged and motivated players who act as community ambassadors by collecting their feedback, cultivating ongoing relationships, and ensuring sustained high quality outputs. Attend live events to provide on site support to players, attendees, and community members. And the qualifications, in case you're thinking of applying, you need a BA/BS degree and 5+ years experience in scaling and enhancing player experience or operational programs for a global digital product. Excellent written verbal communication English, fluency in additional languages, especially Japanese is a plus. A genuine passion for improving player experience, a strong sense of ownership or initiative, a strong belief in Niantic's mission and passion for its products, the usual ability to work in a fast-paced hybrid environment and handle stress appropriately, experience on cross-functional teams with the ability to communicate effectively through written and verbal communications, and collaborating with the team in person and in office 2 days a week. The pay for it is, I don't know if this is any good because I don't know the US salaries, but $121,500 to $135,000 plus bonus, plus equity, plus benefits, and that's the annual salary, I would guess. So I wanted to share that because obviously it mentions about the Wayfarer Community Ambassador program, which I was a Wayfarer ambassador. So I don't know what this means for Niantic Tintino because it sounds very similar to the role that he did within Niantic. Whether it's support or whether Tintino is going to move on to doing something else, it's not clear. But the job is up and open. I don't know when it's open until. I guess until they find someone to fill that role. It doesn't seem to have an expiry date on it. So I want to highlight that one first of all. I'll link to that and you can apply if you fit all the relevant things. The other one, again, this is still Niantic Labs, so it's the Scopely in future, is for a producer of a new geolocation-based mobile game. So they say that Niantic's newly formed Tokyo game development is seeking a producer to help bring to life an exciting new mobile game built around real-world exploration and geolocation-based mechanics. The game features a globally recognized Japanese IP and offers a rare opportunity to contribute from an early development stage. This one, I'm not going to go through everything in detail, but I just want to highlight because I think this is the first new game from Niantic that will hopefully come out since Monster Hunter now. And we mentioned obviously being based on a popular Japanese IP. The Niantic Spatial UK channel ran a poll and they said, as per our last post, Niantic have a position open for a game in development that features a globally recognized Japanese IP. And what do you think it will be? So I'll run through what the current votes are on theirs. I don't know how many people voted. 128 people have voted. So 7% think it'll be Hello Kitty, 27% think it'll be Animal Crossing, 14% think it'll be Dragon Ball, 10% think it'll be One Piece, 22% think Super Mario, 10% think Final Fantasy, 13% Digimon, 8% Yu-Gi-Oh, and 17% something else, but they haven't really commented on what they think something else would be. So at the moment, based on the members of that chat and people following the channel, we're either getting an Animal Crossing AR game from Niantic or a Super Mario AR game from Niantic. I guess both of those could work, but I'd be interested to know what you think. Do leave a comment on the podcast, say what you think the new game will be, and whether you think you'll play it, obviously with it moving into Scopely at some point. I do wonder how long it's been in the pipeline for, whether it was before the discussion started with Scopely or whether it's something they've only just come in now, that it's kind of looking to move everything to Scopely. But I thought it was worth sharing at least those two job roles at Niantic, especially with the Wayfarer one, might be quite relevant in future. But that's all I've got really for any Ingress Wayfarer anomaly news. So I move on now and get things wrapped up.
This is Shimon, former community manager for the Witcher Monster Slayer, and you're listening to Ingress Insights.
Thank you for listening to this episode, agents. Next time we're going over the skirmishes that have happened over the weekend and updating the plus Theta Anomaly score based on those, as well as any other events that have happened to come up regarding Ingress. I'll also at some point release an episode going over the lore, as I mentioned in Hank's recent videos, and updates on there and my thoughts on that. There's also our usual bonus episode that comes out at the end of the month. So there's one on the 31st of May that will come out talking about XM anomalies and what they are. All in all, it seems we're moving quickly into Niantic Spatial. I'm hoping the systems are kind of ready and up to go at some point soon. And looking forward to seeing what comes of the Q3 anomalies and seeing who wins plus Theta. For now, I'll sign off and leave you all with the updated outro. Hope you enjoy it. Let me know if there's anything I need to change in it, and we'll go from there. Hope you have a fantastic Sunday and happy hacking, agents. Thank you, agents, for listening to the latest episode of the Ingress Insights podcast. If you'd like to help the podcast out, you can do that in a few ways. So first of all, rating the podcast on the podcast service you're listening to is always a great help, as well as leaving any comments on YouTube or Spotify if you're able to do that if you're listening on those channels. Ingress Insights also has a merch store over at tpublic.com/user/ingress-insights, where you can pick up badges and pins and t-shirts with the Ingress Insights logo on, and a few other little bits. There's also the Ko-fi store page, which has previous episodes of the podcast if you want to download those. They'll be out in batches over the next few months. You can also follow us on social media. So the main one we use is Instagram, which is under the name ingress.insights. And we also have a Blue Sky and a Threads, which you can find linked on the show notes to follow on there. If you have any feedback or episodes you'd like to see, or bonus episodes, things you want to cover, or you want to come on and chat about your experience playing Ingress, do let me know. You can contact us via email as well. And the email address is just ingressinsights@gmail.com. So you can send us anything there, voice messages, things you want me to discuss in future episodes, or anything you think I've missed and need to cover next time. Thank you again for listening, agents. Hope you have a great day and happy hacking.
Intel package transferred.